ladies and gentlemen. And here, looks like we are back. I am attempting to stream this thing in a higher definition as I'm playing with a few things while I'm testing this stuff. And let's see if can you guys see us? Tell us, let me know if you guys can see us. There's at least see me. See, we got 18 people on. Just kind of filtering in. And here, go check this real quick. What's going on here? Bear with me, people. One sec. Does not. Okay, looks like some people can see. Okay, I see Sleep Racing is in here. Let's go ahead. It looks like I do have us on YouTube. Let me just check Facebook real quick. Sec. Does not. Yep, we are working. All right, I apologize, everybody. We are good to go. Eddie Brose sitting ready to come in. We'll talk with these guys. First of all, thanks for everybody for showing up and joining us tonight to talk about obviously the AJC series that we're super lucky here at MBTV to be able to broadcast on a regular basis, at least for a chunk of their series. And we're looking to continue to do more of these types of shows. Hopefully through the off season, bring some information, upcoming stuff, talk about the past season, hopefully get some extra sponsor exposure and bring some more value to everybody. Right now, let's go ahead and bring in Adam. Adam, how you doing?
Oh, we're hanging in there.
You are
enjoying the off season a little bit.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's this time of the year. It's getting kind of
comes from the planning for those, and so after that last race, it's a big stress reliever to be done with it for the year. But at the same time, it's kind of a bummer. Same people you see all year, you don't get to see for a while. So that part kind of sucks. But yeah, for the rest of this year, we got a local track here that shut down a few years back that we're trying to revive and have some races, Bedrock Raceway in Illinois. So we got 2 or 3 races planned there, and we got an indoor series coming up, and we're looking forward to those.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the 2025 series. I mean, how many actual races did you guys have? Did you end up dealing with a lot of rainouts, or not too bad? Because I know a lot of places did.
We dodged the rain for the most part, which is weird to say because anytime that I've put on races in the past, we've had nonstop issues with weather, whether that be a rainstorm, a tornado, ice storm. We've had it all. So we were pretty lucky. Most of our events, we avoided rain for the most part. I know our first race, we had issues with rain, which caused some problems with the racetrack. And then we had to move an event from Poplar Grove Speedway in Iowa to out Minnesota, which it all worked out, but behind the scenes it was chaos. But weather-wise, it was we were dodging it. We were definitely taking a risk every time we left the house, but it all really panned out for the Midwest series. Now we did have some Southeast races that we couldn't catch a break on. I think we had 7 scheduled, and I think 5 rained out, so we didn't get so lucky down south.
Well, that whole AJC move from Poplar Grove up to Atwater, we were fortunate enough to be able to broadcast that one. We weren't sure what we were gonna see. Obviously, the weather was kind of bad all over the area, and for you to make that move and get that kind of turnout, short notice, and it turned out to just be an awesome, amazing move. How did that all come about so quick?
Well, we were watching Poplar Grove's weather very, very closely, and everyone's an expert when it comes to weather, but when you got your ass on the line, you're trying to make sure all that, you're dotting every I you can. And when it came down to it, talking with Holly from Poplar Grove 2 days out, I called her and I said, look, I don't have a choice. I have to move this event. I have too many people that are backing out. It's either cancel it or move it at this point. And I was lucky enough that the whole board at Atwater Karting Speedway was super open to having our event. We didn't give them much of a notice at all. I made one phone call and they had us there, and I can't thank them enough for that. And honestly, it was probably one of our best, if not the best race of the year. The racing was fantastic. The track was phenomenal. They gave us a great surface to race on with only 48 hours notice. That's not really a whole lot as a track prep guy. That's pretty brutal, but they seemed to, the stars aligned and it all worked out. And they were they were very open-armed, which is great because we're looking forward to going back there in 2026.
Every track that I've gone to with your series, I've just been blown away with how nice the facilities are. The people that run it are friendly, super friendly, and yeah, like I say, it's real camera friendly. Now, what the heck? We might as well. We got Eddie sitting in the green room. He's just sitting there hanging out. We might as well bring Eddie in here. And
he's in there drinking some AJC water, I'm sure.
He is. Hang on a sec. I'm gonna get these guys in here. Oopsie. Hold on one sec. Let me fix that. Eddie, I'll have you in a second. Stay. Just give me a sec. There you are. Eddie, how you doing? Say something.
I'm doing great. Be here.
Thank you so much for coming on here. Obviously, I haven't had the pleasure of actually meeting you face to face. I see you through the camera all the time, and it seems like every time I see you, you're fighting for the win, either winning or second. And I super excited to have you on the show, and you're fun. You're super fun to watch.
Well, I appreciate it. Good to be here.
Oh,
we lost
dang it. Yeah, we're having a little bit of audio issue with Eddie. It's a little upsetting there. I apologize. Let me see what I can do on my side.
Are you connected to your Wi-Fi, Eddie?
I'll pull you off of here for a second. We'll get you back on here in a moment. I will. I got your audio off. In the meantime, let's talk about some of the controversies that you had there during the year, Adam. It sounds like you had some issues with some of the drivers. Tell me about that.
Not really so much issues with drivers. I think it's more around me than the drivers, because there comes controversy when you're promoting a race, and then you also have guys racing in it, and and I know that going into it. I expect backlash from it in some sort of way, but people also need to realize that I'm trying to run 2 businesses here at the same time. We have the series, and we also have a tire business that we're trying to get off the ground. And so getting into it, there's really no other stages in the Midwest to put it on other than our own. And so, any chance we get to run an open tire race, we're there trying to showcase our product. And I believe that our races attract the best in the area. and there's no better stage to put our guys on than the one that we're providing. And so it's a double-edged sword for me, and it took me a little bit to figure out how to really go about it and take some of the criticism, but good criticism or bad, it's still criticism, so we like it.
Absolutely. I think a great racer by the name of Earnhardt said, talking whether they're talking good or bad, or any talk is a good thing. So Eddie, let's see if it's working better. How thanks for coming on, and short notice. I know this just kind of came up here earlier today. We decided to go for it.
Yeah, you guys hear me good?
Yeah.
Not really.
Still dealing with a little bit of audio issues, which shouldn't.
Go get your woman's phone.
Go get your wife's phone. All right, let me try to pull you out of here for another second.
Log on to her phone and then log back in.
We'll pull you out of here, bud. Yeah, it is what it is. That's how some of these things go. We like to test things ahead of time, and like we said, this is one of our first times doing this together. Hang on here. Let's see. We'll get through some of these things. While we're at it here, AJ, why don't you tell me more about this race that you got going on here in December? Because is that track you're trying to revive, or what's going on with that December race?
No, so the track we're reviving is in Belleville, Illinois. It's a track that I grew up racing at. That the race over not really, it's New Year's, it's more Christmas, I guess, the day after Christmas and the following day. That's kind of going back in time a little bit. Before we started racing, I lived an hour from that town where we're putting the race on, Lebanon, Missouri. And for my birthday, when I was turning, I think 7 or 8, my dad took me to go see a Coke syrup race, and it happened to be in the same building where we're putting this race on over Christmas. And so there's kind of a little bit nostalgia for me. Just that's kind of where it all began. And the first local track that we raced at was in Lebanon, Missouri. And a good friend of mine, Brennan Willard, a gentleman who he found our first go-kart for me whenever I was 7 or 8. He found our first go-kart, and this guy has been promoting this race 5 or 6 years, and it didn't happen last year. There were some things going on that it wasn't possible to run it, scheduling conflicts, and late last year he dove deep into a late model program and couldn't really spend time to promote a go-kart race, and so he reached out and asked if it was something I was wanting to do. And I was over the moon about it, just because of the location, for one, and two, it's indoor racing. I'm a big fan of indoor racing, and the track it's super smallest track you've ever seen. It is you're racing around a quarter. I mean, it is so small. For the go-karting people that are on here, it's like a 1066 gear, which is super small. To put that into perspective, it probably fits on the inside of Cedar Lake. It's about the same size as the quarter midget track on the inside of Cedar Lake.
And how many actually do you start at that track?
Well, hell, we're going to start 20. We're going to start 20 in there. It's double file. Hey, I will tell you what, we have a backyard class. I bet there's minimum 60 go-karts in that class, and I guarantee you they will be banging the wall the whole way around there. And it is going to be super exciting, not just to be out there, but to watch. It should be, a spectacle really for go-kart racing. They always pack the stands there. The locals are a great support. They come out and watch from the stands, and it's always exciting. We have that class in specific. They have to run a tire that's super hard, so there's no grip. Everyone's just out there kind of just sliding with the best of them. And so I'm looking forward to watching that class. And we got a couple other classes that have some unique rules. We got a wheelman class, which you have to run 20 pounds of air in your rear tires. So we normally, put that in perspective, we normally run max like 6 pounds, maybe 7. So you got to run 20. So you can imagine what that does. You just have just no grip. You head off into the corner and it's there. You're sliding. So it's we're looking forward to that. They slam them inside this building. It's a great facility. It's heated. You park indoors. It's gonna be a great event to attend, and I'm looking forward to going. Now, as far as race directing that one, I'm a little scared because the track's so small that things happen, and you gotta make some decisions, and people are at each other's necks half the time. But I guess that's part of the job.
Where do you come up with all these little creative ideas when it comes to your races? I mean, the Dirty Tire Challenge, I thought that was one of the coolest things I ever saw when, the first time I saw that.
I'd like to take credit for the Dirty Tire stuff, but Jody Krug, Jacob Krug and Jordan Krug's dad, had the idea a couple years ago, and Jody jumped on board as a sponsor and purchased all the tires and the wheels to make it happen, and we're just the ones putting it on. It was Jody's way of getting people to do something fun and bringing the smile back to people's faces in the sport, because honestly, without that race is such an awesome event to watch. Everybody's always on the fence. It's a great way to I used to start the event with it, but it was way better, and it sucks at the end of the weekend because everyone's exhausted, but to finish on such a high note with that was the best way to go about it. Just everyone was relaxed. It was it was just it was very laid back, and the racers knew it was a fun race, and so the driving was very respectful. It wasn't life or death, and I think one of the races Jody put more money up for fourth than they did the winner, and so people were racing for fourth, and it made it super exciting and entertaining. So the dirty tire challenge is cool, but no, we're always trying to mix it up and maybe get people involved that may not have been involved before, and that's the whole goal, is to just keep getting new people into the sport and keeping things interesting, so it's not just another go-kart race, but more of a show than an event, like we were talking about. So that's the whole idea. It's kind of just try to do things different.
Well, you definitely are. I see Eddie's back. Let's try to bring him in and see if we can get we actually got some decent audio. Eddie, how you doing? Let's test this audio out. How are you?
Can you hear me now?
Ah, we got you, buddy.
Perfect.
We are good.
All right.
Oh my gosh. Well, we got that solved. Nice. Well, welcome to the show.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here.
I definitely hang on here. Let me get to my plans. I'm excited to actually have you here, and obviously, you've blown up our page almost single-handedly with the one little spin out coming to the checker. I that thing literally took our channel from like 1,000 subscribers to like 2,500 pretty fast.
Well, I'm happy to do what I can. Was not exactly intentional. I'm glad that somebody benefited from the whole ordeal, but ultimately I'm not exactly proud of that deal. It's misfortunate. I hate it for Jake, and it just this was one of them racing deals that it just happens. So worked out for me in the end, and not so much in Jake's favor, but at least it worked out in you guys' favor.
The one thing that a lot of people didn't see was after that race. It was super cool, at least for me, because obviously the call of the race, Dean does his Dean thing. It was absolutely amazing. I just love watching or listening to that guy call the races while you guys run. I know he probably makes a few people mad because he speaks from the heart. And sometimes speaking about what you see, a lot of other people don't see it quite exactly the same, but it definitely gets people talking. But after that happened in Victory Lane, tell me about how that, obviously you ended up going to Victory Lane, and tell me about that, because you guys ended up kind of embracing in a way that you could tell you felt pretty bad about the situation.
Oh, absolutely. Jake's one of my favorite up and coming drivers. He's a really good kid. He's in our pit area constantly throughout the weekend. me and Jake are really good friends, and to be honest with you, when I was following behind him, I didn't think I had a shot in the world to win that race, and in my helmet, I'm just thinking, how awesome it is that I'm gonna get to see him win his first kind of big race like that, and so I'm cheering for him, from behind him, and and he threw a little bit of an unnecessary, block, or well, not really block, but protected unnecessarily. He had the speed to just kind of go on and win that race without doing anything, drastic. And had he done that, then I would have never been able to touch his bumper. And not that I touched his bumper intentionally, anyways. Just I went kind of for a move to maybe try to come up the inside of him, but when he kicked off the corner out of turn 4, it was too late for me to react to kind of swing to the outside and try to miss him. I just had a head of steam coming, and I was pretty much committed to trying to come up the inside of him, and I ended up touching his bumper just a little bit, sending it into the infield. But completely unintentional as far as the contact goes. And, like I said, Jake's a really good friend, and I was really disappointed to win a race like that. I don't ever want to win a race controversially like that. But Jake's a great kid. He took it really well. We had a good talk. We still, have utmost respect for each other, and we moved on from it. But there's a lot of people on social media that haven't, and I think we still get comments on that video. So, and I just try to avoid them because some are good and some are bad. That's kind of how it goes in the racing world sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, Adam, when something like that happens, tell me how do you handle that amongst all of the drivers and the controversy that goes on there?
I'd say I got lucky because they were both in our pit area. That sounds bad, but I think I got lucky in that sense. I think everyone there, at the time things were heated, but people saw the race, how it happened from the fence, and knew what happened, and so the tempers weren't as bad as what they were online. I went right up to Jake and his dad, and I was like, dude, there's no way Eddie would have ever done that on purpose, and this was before Eddie was even off the track yet. There's no way he would have done that on purpose. And I gave him a few minutes to kind of just sit on it. You never really want to talk to anybody right away, but that's my first instinct is, look, there's no way that happened. I didn't talk to Eddie, but I can tell you now, it's like, there's no way he would have done that. Like, it looks better for Jake to win, like, we want Jake to win. That's the whole, Jake deserves to win. He's fast. He's learning. Every time he hits a racetrack, he's getting better and better. And so I was excited on the fence to see Jake be that fast. And, he ran a great race and didn't make mistakes, and they had a ton of speed, and Jordan, which is Jake's dad, had the go-kart perfect, and it was just a bad deal. But you deal with more people that you don't know online, and at the time I was messaging Matt, I'm like, I think that video's got to come down, there's such bad publicity, and the more I was thinking about it, I'm like, what, I was like, nah, it is good, because it shows that these guys are competing at a high level, and they can go out the next day and compete and nothing come from it, which is what we want. We want to show good racing, which 99% of the time we do, until MBTV posts a reel that doesn't look very good. But no, it's all part of it, and that's stuff that I do like seeing the reels now, and I like it more when they come around and they have our nose decal in the front and they seem to be involved. So I mean, it's got its positives and negatives, but you take it with a grain of salt, because there's always another race.
Well, it's easy to find the reels coming out of you guys' races, because, man, so many of those finishes come right down to the last lap. Sadly, I do understand that a lot of people, some of those crashes aren't great to watch. When you're a racer, those are not exactly the things you want promoted, and I get that. We definitely try to mix it up and show more of the good quality racing stuff, but yeah, I guess some of those, it's just amazing at how thankfully, knock on wood, everybody walks away. Everybody seems to get a little bruised up and stuff, but and a little sore. But this ain't a sport for people that are soft. I'll be honest with you. If you're soft, it's probably don't get in a cart. But
you're not lying.
It's very easy to let your emotions get the best.
Say that again, Eddie.
It's very easy to let your emotions get the best of you in this sport, and it takes time, and it just takes the right people to surround yourself with and the right mentors to have to try to limit that, limit the amount of emotions that you show in the sport.
Yeah. How about when it comes to Adam, safety is obviously a pretty big deal. I mean, you guys always seem to have your EMTs are on the spot, your officials. I'm always amazed. Me and my cameraman Mark, he's kind of, you call him the gnome. He's a good dude. But bottom line is me and him are always talking about your officials. I mean, before the carts are even stopped, they're already running full bore to help them out. I mean, I don't know who that official is in corner one, but if you keep an eye on Mark's camera, he's always trying to actually put him in the shot because dude is active. He's part of the show.
His name's Texas.
His name is Texas?
Tex, yeah. He's, Atwater Karting Speedway, they provided him as a corner worker. And after that race, I said, I want that dude at every race that we have. And we try to put repeat officials in the same spot, the same corner workers if we can. But it's taken me a long time to really, for anyone to stick out as a corner worker anyway until he did it, because somebody wrecked in turn 4 and he got on his motorcycle and rode to turn 4 before anybody else could even see it happen. And it does a couple things. One, it keeps these kids safer that are out there. If there's an incident, he can get out and make sure that the go-kart's off of them, or if they have something else happen, they can make sure the kid's okay, call over the EMT faster. Everything's about timing. And so if there is an accident, you want to make sure whoever is involved is okay as quick as you can, just because every second counts a lot of the times. Luckily we haven't had any bad accidents, but it is racing and it's dangerous and things can happen. And so anytime we can get the good workers, pay them well, keep them around, treat them right, listen to what they have to say, and we have a pretty good crew.
Eddie, it's got to make you feel pretty good, when you've been around racing. How many years have you been running now, Eddie? I got to ask you that.
I'm finishing off my 35th year of racing, I think.
Wow.
I started racing four-wheelers when I was 5, and I'm going to turn 41 here about a month. So.
Well, good for you. And I know I've been around as far as a lot of different racetracks. I've never raced, because if I did, I wouldn't have a production, I can tell you that. The thing is, you got to feel pretty good running AJ series, because when you talk to the officials, you watch the officials, because you stand there watching races quite a bit. And when I watch that safety crew and that official crew, and I don't mean to carry on this, but it's one of the best crews I've ever seen assembled as far as racing period, to have the kind of they're active, they're smart, they seem to be making calls and getting involved quickly instead of sitting on a tire or something along those lines, like I see at so many other places. So for what it's worth, how do you feel about that safety there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Adam does a phenomenal job of constructing the best crew possible to orchestrate these events and stuff. And we've been through several different people that have helped us out, and everybody's really done a great job, Adam does a great job of keeping on board the people that just do an exceptional job, and that's what we want. You know, we want everybody to feel safe out there, and we want everybody, you know, feel like they're getting, you know, the best calls possible and stuff. You know, well, to be honest, it's really not ideal. You know, when Adam first talked about doing a series, it's been, you know, a couple years ago now, or a year ago. We discussed me not racing, me just coming to be the flag man or something like that. You know, like I always want to help out. Yeah, I can. You know, Adam and I are very passionate about the sport, and we want the sport to succeed. You know, but when it comes down to it, you know, the majority of the people, they wanted to be able to run the tires in the inventory, which, you know, the majority of the people have Maxxis tires in their inventory, and we didn't want to exclude those people, and we didn't want to force them to have to buy the AJC tire. We wanted to prove to them that the AJC tire was competitive, or, you know, even from as far as I'm concerned, it's the best tire. You know, and in order to be able to prove that, you have to have quality drivers and you know, a quality team. And me and Adam have been working together, and Carter Brown, some of our other drivers that we have on, you know, we've all kind of been working together, even when we were running Maxxis the past few years. But we have good correlation, and we have, you know, great communication, and, you know, that's ultimately what it takes to have a successful team. You know, so Adam and I decided that we need to race. You know, our team needs to be present. We need to you know, show what the tire could do. You know, and I feel like we did a pretty good job of that this year. If we didn't win the majority of the races, you know, I would be proud.
No,
but
go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I was just going to ask you, what's your take on the 2025 season? How'd it go? I mean, what's your feelings on it all?
I feel like it went really well. You know, we did have a few controversial, you know, issues that arose during the season, but I feel like, you know, with talking it out with most people, we've come to an agreement on, you know, just kind of the way things have to be ran, and you know, I don't really, you know, obviously we're not trying to favor ourselves. We're trying to go out there and win on merit, you know, because that's really the only way we're going to sell the product. You know, winning with favoritism, or with people feeling as if they're safe, isn't going to achieve the goal that we're after. So ultimately, I think that we proved that the performance is there with the tire, and you know, I mean, Adam put it out there on social media that the promoting the event really isn't a money-making ordeal. You know, like he barely turned a profit on the promoting side of things. The only way that we keep this ship afloat is to keep selling product. You know, so I think ultimately we achieved our goal this year. We performed at the highest level, and you know, we won a good majority of the races, I would say. Well,
Adam, you got to be happy to hear that type of feedback.
Yeah, I am. You know, I take a lot of pride in both the promoting and our racing program. You know, I spend a lot of my time in the shop and calling Eddie, and most of the time we try to talk about tires and end up talking about something else. But we try to always work on our program, whether it's the series or just our general program, and we're always talking about how to improve. You know, we're all over the place on our phone calls, but we talk all the time on things we can do that would make a better overall experience for not just people that support our series, but also customers, and things we can do to better our product to make it easier for them.
Speaking of, you know, making things better, let's talk 2026. I mean, what's your plans? What are you changing? give me a little bit of a update on some of the new stuff that's you're planning.
2026, we're going to try to touch a couple different racetracks that we might not have hit ever really. I'm still trying to pin down the tracks. We've been in talks with all the ones we want to attend, just kind of waiting to get that finalized. So the tracks is one thing. Apparel, I'm trying to get a lot of our participants involved on some collaborations with some t-shirts. So if you're listening and want to be involved with the series t-shirt, message me about it. You know, we're trying to get notoriety out for all of our drivers. We want it to be bigger than just, you know, about a series. We want it to be about the drivers. We want the drivers to stick around. We want, you know, new drivers to come into the sport. And so, you know, apparel helps. You know, with apparel, you get your name out there, and it's a cheap form of advertisement for not just the racers, but the series as well, and your teams. So apparel's another big thing. You know, our points format, you know, I'd like to change how we do our points. You know, this year it was a straight across point system. So if you won a race, it was 200 points, which, you know, is great, except if you finish second, you got 199. So if you have one bad race, you know, it could really kill the points for you. And yes, we did 2 drops out of the eight total features we had for the points. But I feel like next year I'm going to kind of keep that the same points system, but we're going to add on, you know, entry counts. So if you won with 20 go-karts, you know, you're going to get an extra 20 points versus having 200 across the board for winning. You'll have 200 plus another 20 for winning. That way, you know, if you win with 1 go-kart or, you know, 4 go-karts, it's easier to do versus winning with 20. So I think you deserve the extra point. So we're going to change the point structure to make it more fair for everybody. And make winning that much more important. We're going to work on our awards. I was pretty proud of the awards we had this year, actually, with our roulette wheels. I thought they were really cool. Our year-end awards were handmade. I thought those were really neat. But we're going to work on our second through 5th awards and see if we can't make it a little more appetizing for those as well, because it does mean a lot to be in the top 5. You know, with the crowds that we're racing against, being in the top 5 is difficult to do. So I'd like to do better with the awards. We're working on a pre-race show, which we need to go further in depth with, but I'm excited to do that for next year. So we have a called the Purple Wave broadcast tent. Shout out Purple Wave. They bought us this tent, this inflatable tent that we 2 hours before the race we're able to go in. Me, the race director, a couple special guests, Matt, the announcer, whoever wants to be involved, really, and kind of just talk about, the weekend before it starts. Hey, here's what here's what we're looking forward to. Here are our favorites. Here are our picks. Here's things to look out for. Track conditions, just things to keep people, give people something to do on Saturday morning when they're sitting on the couch. They can tune into MBTV and watch the pre-race show. I think it would get more people involved. It's only a couple hours of four guys talking about something they think they know they're talking about.
Well, that's all sounds super exciting, and I can't wait. That pre-race tent, you showed me some pictures of what you were ordering, and that thing in the purple wave colors is going to look pretty cool at the venues.
I'm excited.
I look forward to speaking with you more about how that's going to look, and put together a little structure with that. That hasn't come yet, right? I mean, it's just ordered.
It's on the way. It's not. I do not have it yet.
Okay, gotcha. When that thing comes in, we might have to put together a quick show.
We can do it. You gonna drive down here in your trailer?
I like it. It'd be a lot better than in the trailer. Next time I do this, we won't be in the trailer. I can promise you that. Eddie, I was just kind of scanning, and is this right? You have raced like 100 and like 10 races, and you won 45 of them. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we've run at least 110 features this year, and we have 45 wins, which is pretty incredible. As far as I'm concerned, it's probably one of my best years that I've ever had. I'm 41 years old and still able to have some of the best years of my life, which I never really expected. When I was 30 years old, I felt old, but when you got a guy like Adam that is as motivated as he is to go racing every weekend, it's kind of like I kind of call it like the Steve Kinser effect, because that dude never really looked like he was in good shape, or who else am I thinking of? Bloomquist. Like he never really looked like he was in great shape or anything. Those guys would out-drive anybody for 100 laps, because they did it all the time. They were in great race shape, and I think that if you just stay in the seat and stay behind the wheel, never stop getting better.
10 wins at Golden Spike, 9 wins at Four Rocks Arena, University Plains, 5 wins. I mean, it's saying that you have literally podium rate of 72% of your races this year is top 3. That's amazing. Congratulations to you.
Well, a lot of that, is because of the hard work that Adam puts in behind the stuff. He puts his trust in me to get the job done behind in the seat. But the amount of work that goes in means, I think, is really most of that attest to. Adam is, so adamant about taking notes and making sure that every time we go to a track we get better. I think we've kind of proven that and set that example a few times this year, or several times this year, where we've gone to a track for the first time and done okay, or we've been semi-successful, and then the next time we go back we knock it out of the park. And that's that sort of success. Like I didn't all of a sudden become a better driver the second time I went there. Adam just he works hard on his program. He works hard on analyzing every little detail, every little thing, and he wants to make sure that every time we go back to a place that we are better than the time we were before. This weekend we had what I would say a lackluster week earlier in the year this year when we went there, but I'm confident going into this next weekend with just with the way that Adam he works so hard to make sure that if we don't succeed, that we will the next time, or even if we do succeed, we'll be even better. We'll win by even more than hats off to him. I can't thank him for.
What was the most memorable race of the year for?
The program so much better, and a lot of that comes down to the potential of the tires, the AJ racing tires. It's easy to say you throw it on, you throw some prep at it or whatever, and maybe you're not quite as fast as you are on the max. But if you put in the time and you put in the work to it, and you get your research and development to the point of where people have gotten themselves over 20 years of racing Maxxis tires. If they just keep at it, it'll win for you. And it has the potential to win by a substantial amount. So we won a lot of races when Adam and I were running Maxxis tire together, but we never really won races quite like we have on his tire. Never quite the time.
Well, I know that right now we're coming up on the end of the hour. I definitely want to give Adam a chance to obviously, give us some of your closing thoughts as far as, our little conversation here today. Tell us about some of your sponsors, what makes all of this stuff possible for AJC. I mean, I'm personally super thankful to you and all your sponsors. You guys, have us there. You pay our guys to help to do some of this broadcasting, and I can't thank you enough. But who makes all this possible for you?
Well, first and foremost, the staff that we have. Without the staff and the supporters we have, we wouldn't be able to do it. And Eddie is one of, if not the biggest supporter. He's told me time and time again that he would rather see me succeed than to have his racing career go further. And so that says a lot to me. He's a really good friend of mine, and he keeps all the shows moving. There's no dead time. We try to push the shows through as quick as we can, and without landing on the grid, we couldn't do that. My parents, my mom, she sits at the pit gate for 2-3 days straight, talking to everybody, greeting them as they come through the gate. That is a thankless job. She doesn't have to do it, but she does because she wants to see it succeed. So those handful of people, then of course our sponsors, Farmer Brown Motorsports, Jeremy Brown and family, big supporters, have been since the beginning. Any chance I put up a race, they're there, and if they're not there, they're supporting it in some kind of way, not just money, but word of mouth, and anything they can do to see it go forward, they do. And so Purple Wave is a huge sponsor of mine. Purple Wave is owned by Aaron McKee, which is a family friend. He's taught me a lot about ways of thinking. He's a super smart businessman. Sometimes he explains things to me that don't make sense, but they do later on, and those are always the best. Those are always the best conversations. So him, Brent Wiedemann, also a family friend of mine that has helped me tremendously. But sponsor-wise, Arnold Brother Racing, Farm Brown Motorsports, Chris Holt and Johnny Hansen. I'm drawing a blank. Mac Tools, Earls. He's been awesome. Anytime I've had a race, he's jumped on board as a sponsor. He's been a huge supporter. Don't Suck Motorsports, Powell Motorsports. I'm drawing a blank here. I can't think off the top of my mind here, but anybody listening that's attended our races, without you guys, wouldn't be able to have those races. And so Factory Pilot, anything that that's my wife and I's deal. We do custom suits and canopies, and she works day and night on that stuff. So we try to make the racers look as good as we can, and it's I feel like it's just another side gig to try to keep things moving and try to fund the rest of this. Try to fund the rest of the stuff we love to do. So I know I'm forgetting a bunch of sponsors, but it's kind of hard to think off the top of my head.
Well, this
definitely
is one
a
of
huge
our.
thank you.
Well, what's that?
Definitely a huge thank you to the people that have supported us from the beginning and continue. I just want to basically give a big shout out to Carter Brown and his family, and Johnny Hansen, and his family that have basically been with us and continue to support us thick and thin through good times and bad. They are 100% on our side, and they do everything in their power to make sure to help this thing succeed. Those are our core people. We've had a bunch of people come on board because of those people. They see people like that succeeding, and we've acquired quite a few more followers and more people that are just believers in Adam product and what he can provide. Campbell Ray, Jackson Reed. There's a bunch more I know that I could mention. The Schulten family, they gave us a ton of support, especially early on in the year. They kind of go back and forth between their AJC tires and their Maxes, but I feel like they had a ton of success when they were leaning on us for support. But there's several people to mention, and I know I'm forgetting. Yeah, it takes a village.
It certainly does. It's an ecosystem that there's a lot of really critical parts to make it all work, and you guys, are doing what I believe is an amazing job. The car counts speak volumes. Even a short notice move from one place in the Midwest to another, and still having 300 carts, or I'm just amazed at the job all of you guys do. Obviously, I get a kick out of your flag man. The Cooper Cam we brought in this year near the end of the season, because that guy's a character by himself. I don't know where you found him, but man, is he a good time. I can only imagine what it's like when he gets out of the flag stand, and well, you guys do what you do afterward. But you guys are amazing team and I'm honored to even be able to put on, broadcast the races. As everybody knows, we are new. We're new to the whole broadcasting thing. This is just our second year of live streaming. We're learning fast. Obviously, we would sure appreciate all the support. The people following us and things. Let me ask you, Adam, both of you guys, what does a business do? How do they get a hold of you guys if they want to get involved with you, your series, Eddie, your car? I mean, let's start with you, AJ. What do they got to do? How do they get a hold of you?
You can message any of the sponsors we just named off. You can message me on Facebook, my personal page, Adam Johnson, or on my or the series page, AJC Mid America Series, or any of the AJC pages. Shoot me a message. I'll get back to you quick. I'm normally pretty good at responding. So anybody that supports our series, reach out to them. I'm sure they have my number. They can send it to you. Anything I can do to help people get started in the sport, or are interested in product or running with us next year, just look me up on social media. You can find me. And the list of sponsors, I do have those sponsors. I pulled them up. I want to make sure I get their names out there. Manderfeld Trucking, Sharp Cuts, Schultons, Lakitis Racing, Raids Chassis, and Bulldog Farms. Those are all really big sponsors for us.
P1 Cartworks.
Yeah, it's just Brian.
Brian's another person you can reach out to for anything. He's our parts vendor for every race that we have, and he's always willing to give advice. He has every part or product that you could possibly need at the racetrack, which is awesome.
Well, thanks again, guys, and thanks to all the fans that I see buying the AJC gear. I'm amazed when I'm walking through the pits how many people are walking around with them. I don't know who does the designing of those AJC shirts, but all of them are super cool, I'll be honest with you. And I love the fact that it seems like every race got its own shirts. What's that?
Hot Shot Designs, Landon Shot. He does all my design work, all our logos, all of our T-shirts. He's another big supporter for us. He does all our trophy checks. So, if you want to look good, Landon designs all our suits and whatnot. So, also shout out to MBTV. If this be only being your second year, that's I've had multiple people tell me that the broadcast is as professional as it gets. I mean, we're racing go-karts in people's backyards, and we have a Fox Sports broadcast.
Well, I owe a lot of that to my camera guy, Mark Meeks. He doesn't miss many cautions. I'm sure you guys have figured that out. Maybe sometimes you wish he would. But anyways, we have a lot of fun. So again, guys, unless you have any parting thoughts, I think we'll close this thing up. Adam, you got anything to add?
I do not. Eddie, what you got?
Eddie?
Well, I want to say I can tell you that after the weekend's over, that we replay your broadcast several times throughout the week after a race weekend. Whether it's just to kind of rewatch races of my own, just to kind of see where I'm making mistakes or what I'm doing good, or just to watch the entertainment of all the other classes guys are brought. It's really awesome. We really appreciate what you guys are doing. It's not every day that you can go back and watch races and stuff. And That's huge. It's a big deal, especially for people that can't be there. I know every competitor wants, all their friends and family to be able to see what they're doing, and you guys are making that possible, which is awesome.
Well, thank you. Again, it takes an army, and we have a heck of a lot of fun doing it, and we look forward to doing it a heck of a lot more, God willing. So, I think we're planning on broadcasting the series again next year. I believe, correct, Adam? Is that where we're? I got some work. Still upload the recording, and there won't be one little tiny bit that'll be missed. So if you're watching this, when this is over, the actual link will go away, and I will upload the whole recorded broadcast for anything that anybody might have missed if there was any sort of and I lost connectivity for a couple seconds here, a couple seconds there. But thanks again to both you guys. I really appreciate it. Eddie, look forward to seeing you again soon. AJ, same with you, and the whole group of racers and the crew, everybody that makes it all happen. It's a lot of fun for all of us. So thanks a bunch, okay?
Thank you.
Can't
Have a
wait.
good one, Matt.